Well, as the national grid is continuing to struggle to meet demand, businesses are considering alternative sources of energy. Let's go back to Western area. There he is for us, Pule Letshwiti-Jones. In the cold, it must be freezing where you are. The Goldfield South Deep mine is the first to install a large-scale power plant. And it's more like a power farm, really. Pule, morning to you. I was out there last week, Thursday, to go take a look ahead of today as well. It's staggeringly big, the size of the solar panels they've got there. Good morning.
Yeah, definitely. Very good morning, Gareth. In fact, it is quite freezing out here, but it's very interesting to see what I've bumped into this morning, where there's about 120,000 solar panels, enough to cover about 200 soccer fields, and of course, just about 50,000 households as well. And this is quite impressive from what we're seeing, where mining companies are now focusing to alternative renewable sources of energy to keep the lights on, especially when we are facing this energy crisis across the country. I mean, this is one sector which contributes a lot to the country's economy and GDP as well. But to get more insight on this matter, I'm joined by one of the officials from the mining company, Mr. Brentford, who speaks to me this morning. Thank you very much for chatting to me, Mr. Brentford. I just want to touch on the fact that, firstly, it's quite impressive that we have so many solar panels, but how as well has it been beneficial to us, the company as well?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Pule, and good morning to you and to your viewers. Look, this plant has been very beneficial to Goldfields at large, but importantly to South Deep. We started this journey around about 2016 and gained much more speed around 2021, and it enables us to reduce our carbon footprint, but most importantly to secure our operations and ensure that we can continuously operate during various stages of late curtailment.
And when you speak about Khanyisa, that's the name of the power farm as well.
Yeah.
To me, it means to light up. Will Khanyisa solar plant's capacity increase to about 60 megawatts? Because I understand now you putting about out there 50 megawatts. Would this be the plan for the mining company?
Absolutely, Pule. When we started with the plans, the plant was a 40 megawatt, plant, and we increased the capacity to 50 megawatts, and certainly we are looking into increasing it further to 60 megawatt. When you look at our maximum demand, it does range. This year we're sitting at a maximum demand of some 62 megawatts. So we will certainly be looking into increasing the capacity beyond the 50, but also to supplement it with other energy sources.
Yeah, especially that when you speak about other energy sources, are you looking at incorporated with having wind farms here as well to ensure that also that contributes to that notion of the energy mix as well and alternative renewables?
Yeah, absolutely. Because solar is only effective, during the day. At night, you are still reliant on the grid. So we are busy with a couple of studies here around the wind to determine as to whether wind will work. And the prelim, work seems to suggest that wind, will work. Between 60 meters and 120 meters, we certainly are getting the right wind speeds that will enable us to generate power from the wind turbines.
When you speak about the precedent that has been set, what kind of message does, having solar panels send to mining companies and investors as well?
Look, it is the right thing to do. Companies that can invest in green energies should invest in green energies, but it's not everyone that can. Some of the mines certainly have short span of life, and investing in green energies may not be optimum for them. But if you've got the life of mine, certainly we should be considering so as to ease the pressure from the Eskom and ease the pressure from the government.
With this experience as well in background, what would you say for the mining sector to achieve their clean energy goal would be the logical course?
It will be a logical course, because it does protect you when there is load curtailment. Various operations of producers at various levels, we produce roughly between, I would say, 20 kgs and 33 kgs per any given day. Now you can imagine that if you are curtailed, you ain't going to be able to produce that, which basically means a impact into your revenues.
Yeah, and I also wanted to touch on this because I think before we also move on, would you say does the deployment of renewable energy address the issue of the energy crisis in the country as well and its disadvantages?
Certainly, it does address the issue of power outages, as I would have said. Not only would it be beneficial to the companies, it will be beneficial to the communities, because you're going to keep the operations running for much longer. The whole issue of green energy is also beneficial into the continent, because we know that the continent is highly endowed with the mineral resources.
And of course, Ben, I wanted to touch on the fact that you are employing just about 3,700 employees and 2,200 contractors as well. When you speak about skills development here, is that one of your key priorities as well?
Absolutely. We are also looking into automation. All right. At this point in time, we've got the automated LHDs that we are deploying underground. We've got the rock breakers, which are automating from surface, and you're also looking into various other ways of mechanizing and optimizing other pieces of equipment. So with skills deployment and skills improvement, it's certainly something that we are driving very hard.
When we drive in here, there's seemingly very tight security. I'm assuming probably to protect the staffers and the infrastructure here. Has there been any, issues around illegal mining as well? Because I know that's been one topical issue across the country. We've seen, illegal miners, and famously known as zamazamas, hijacking mines or abandoned mines as well. Have you encountered that issue here?
Yeah, Pule, it's a pity that the country is going through, that experience of, zamazamas. Or illegal miners. And I must be very honest, we have not encountered that inside the mine. Yes, outside and in the vicinity there would be such occurrences, but we have not encountered that inside the footprints of South Deep.
And would you say that has a bearing on the economy as well?
It does. Yeah. It does, because the country is not realizing any taxes out of the proceeds of the zamazamas.
Mr. Benford, thank you very much for joining.
Thanks a lot.